Hey guys. Okay, so last week I found myself on site, standing at the rear of a pre-1911 house. So we were standing in the enclosed rear veranda. Off to one side I had the kitchen. Off to the other side I had the lounge room. Now, if you're a regular follower of our social media, you would have seen this exact photo on our page last week. It's the one where the dog was standing in the middle and you have the two timber thresholds on either side. Anyway, I was standing in that exact position with the building designer and the client being the homeowner. The building designer turns to the client and says, "Oh, do you want to know why your kitchen there is accessed externally off the veranda and why it's not integrated as part of the main part of the house?" Anyway, he sat there and proceeded to rattle off this explanation. Then at the end, he turned to me and went, "I learnt that from you on site." And I went, "Okay. Of all the things I talk about, that's the one that stuck with you? Buddy, come on." But then I went, hey, if he found it interesting enough to stick in his mind, maybe you guys will find it interesting too. So why don't I use this week's video to change tacks a little bit. Instead of giving you town planning information, let's go for an interesting or cool fact about old Queenslander houses that you can kind of rattle off to clients in the future or rattle off at family barbecues or wherever you want to use it. So, why were kitchens accessed externally? Why are they accessed via what is now typically an enclosed veranda at the rear of the house? Well, back in the day, back in the motherland, the really fancy houses used to have detached kitchens. So the kitchens were way at the back of the property. Why? Well, you had your help in your kitchen, your servants. You didn't want your servants tramping through your house now, do you? So no, they were sort of stuck out the back in this dingy, sort of somewhat grotty kitchen. Also, kitchens back then, we used open fires to cook everything. We didn't have the induction stoves and all of that sort of stuff that we do these days. So they were a high fire risk. By detaching them from the main dwelling, it gave you somewhat of a chance, a really, really small chance, to try and put the fire out before it spread to your main digs. Now, like thunderboxes, over time, these facilities or these components of the house got closer and closer and closer to the main digs, and eventually they were integrated into the houses. However, they still kept some of the base principles. So you obviously still didn't want your help coming through your house. You didn't want that dirtiness of that room, that kitchen associated with your main pretty house, the area where you entertained. So you made it so that it was still accessible off that rear veranda. Even though it kind of sounds a bit silly now, there was still a little bit of the thought of, oh, well, if it's in a not a detached room, like a separate room, it's kind of going to be a little bit less of a fire risk. Like, I know timber house, what are we thinking? But that was kind of the mindset. So yes, basically there were areas where you and your guests did not hang out. You guys stuck to the front of the house. The help stuck to the back of the house. You didn't want the two integrating. There were kind of dirty areas. You didn't, again, want your guests who are in the main part of your house to be seeing these utility spaces. They're also a fire risk, so you want to kind of separate them from your main dwelling. And that is why when you go into pre-1911 houses in particular, within Brisbane, you will often see that the kitchen was originally, may have changed, people may have cut doors out in walls, all of that sort of stuff, but originally it would have been accessed off the rear veranda. These days, obviously, the cooking is a process we kind of involve our guests in. Our lifestyles have changed, basically, so we can move to more of an open plan living. I actually find it really interesting to look back and see how things have changed over time. Did you guys just see that? A horse just went past. That's hilarious. Oh, only in Brookfield would you see something like that, hey? But anyway, what was I saying? Our lifestyles have changed. We're now integrating our kitchens more into the heart of our homes. And I find that really interesting to see how society has changed over time. Anyway, that is a little bit of tidbit of information, let's just say. As I said, not strictly town planning, but kind of related to town planning. You can roll it out at the next barbecue or with your next client, wherever you want. Go for it. That covers off everything I wanted to talk about. As I always say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no, actually, I've got three. Number one, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site-specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number two, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number three, what was my number three? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.